That's right. It's overtime today. We are here with the newly top-ranked baseball coach in the nation in the D2 baseball poll, Coach Chris Hanks. Coach, thanks for the time. We'll get right into it. Another 4-game sweep. You guys are perfect in RMAC play. What's been leading to that perfection this season?
Well, our pitching's been really strong, the consistency of that. Our defense has been solid and consistent. So I would say, it really starts in those two places.
Now, on that defensive end, too, and this offensive league like the RMAC, how good has it been to have pitchers who can get outs and not really need the ball to get into the outfield where damage can happen, but they're pretty good at rolling down ground balls and letting guys like Kennedy or Joey or Trevor go and make those plays?
Well, good pitching makes everything easier in the game of baseball, and we have good arms, we have great depth. We actually have a depth situation where, we have more guys than there are really innings to pitch, so we have to manage that. But anytime, guys work ahead and force quick outs, it just makes everything easier.
Now, on the offensive side, too, especially in that Friday night game, it looked like we were going to have a pitcher's duel early. Then out of nowhere, you guys come out, score 10-plus runs in what seemed like a blink of an eye. How did that offensive explosion start, and how did you sustain it? Well,
I think that, the longer you see a pitcher, as I say, the longer a pitcher's exposed, and the hitters get to keep seeing him. They get more information. They get their timing down. They understand what pitches the guy on the mound has and what's effective. And so it's a matter of sometimes you have to weather the storm for a few innings till you settle in and hit that flow.
And talking about seeing more of that stuff out of the pitcher, guys at the top lineup like Colby Felix and Ezra Farmer, they're really good at battling into those counts late. How do you kind of coach that mental tenacity to, go through those 8, 9, 10 pitch ABs?
Well, it's a standard we try to set in our program that we ask all players to shorten up their swing, toughen up, especially in situations where we really need contact. And we try to wear that pitcher out. It becomes a battle cry, something that we take great pride in.
Now, outside of the game of baseball, or I guess even going back, recently Sergio Romo nominating you to the Positive Coaching Alliance Game Changer Awards. You go to the Bay Area, get that award. What did that mean for you, for a former player, a 3-time World Series champion player, no less, to think about you when he's thinking about guys who've really helped his career?
Well, it was very humbling and very heartfelt. I'm very honored that he chose me. He could have chosen a lot of coaches, and I think that I've been coaching a long time, and you worry so much about wins and losses, but at the end of the day, the thing that is the most lasting for any coach at any level are the relationships that are made along the way with assistant coaches, with other coaches, with your players. And our job as teachers or coaches is to really create an impact for those that we have the ability to influence or direct, and to find out, I knew that I meant a lot to him. He's let me know that. I just didn't know the extent, and so it validates, why we're in this profession.
Well, and you've been coaching for a long time, at least even at the tops of Colorado Mesa here, nearly 30 years. How much of those relationships meant to you, not just as a coach, but also just as a man, knowing there's so many great, fathers and brothers and husbands out there that you had at least a small piece in creating?
Well, when you get into this, we have a kid for a year, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years, and in comparison to a lifetime, it's a small window of time. So, I think our impact is not just to create an impact for a year or up to 4. It's to create an impact for a lifetime, and it brings home, I think, why people teach and why people coach, or they should. The winning's important and it feels good, and it's more fun when you win, certainly. But the things that are most lasting are those relationships that extend way beyond a player's career.
Now, back to baseball, last question for you. You guys have beaten 29 straight Division II opponents. How do you keep your team locked in the midst of this massive win streak to tell them to keep going out and doing that day in and day out?
Well, we challenge them. We're only as good, and we're only judged on the next game. So we're as good as our next outing, and now it'll be the first game this weekend of the new series. And, we try to make sure that they keep their focus on what's most important, and it's what we do next, and it's the things that we ultimately have the most control over, and that's our actions, our mindset, our preparedness for the next opponent.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time today. That was the new top-ranked baseball team in the nation's man at the top step, Coach Hanks. I'm Dean Allen. That's my time for overtime.